What's up, guys? Good morning. Today for ProjektDori, I'm going to start off by going to Lowe's. I bought some bolts yesterday for that lower control arm. Remember how I mentioned those bolts are too short? So I bought some ones that were longer, but they're actually not the right thread count, which is my bad. I totally had a brain fart. But I ended up ordering the right ones off Amazon. They're going to be here today, so I'm going to go return those. And then also, I got to go buy a new socket to fit these Torx bits. That way I can go ahead and install everything on the rotors. So, gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll get started working on the car. Charlie, got anything to say to the people? No? Okay, go talk. Torx split ended up being a T40. As you can see, it's a nice tight fit. Oh yeah! Okay, all back at the house now. So the first thing I'm going to jump into is finishing up the wheel hubs. I started them yesterday, but I was kind of worn out, so I went ahead and stopped. So let me catch you up. So right here is the hub that I'm going to be putting on the driver's side. Now I got the bearing all packed with the grease using Whirl Purple Ultra Performance grease, of course. So the bearing is in there. Now I need to put the seal in. Now, of course, these are engineered to have super tight tolerances, so that seal that goes in there is really hard to get in. So yesterday I tried to just tap it in, very carefully in, but it wouldn't budge or wouldn't fully seat. So I had to go ahead and put them in the freezer overnight. That way, hopefully they'll just shrink down enough so I can slip right in. After the hubs are all put together, I'll go ahead and start doing everything I need to assemble the rotors and then the calipers. Alright guys, I went ahead and got the seal put on the hub. I didn't grab any footage of it because when I grabbed the seals, I really didn't have a lot of time before the thing starts warming up, again, and starts to get back to bigger size. So I just got it tapped in real quick. They can be kind of a pain to get in there without damaging the seal. So maybe on the next video I can go ahead and show you how to do it. But yep, that's in. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on. The next thing this up is to go ahead and put together the rotors. So really, I just need to take the rotor, take these adapter plates, bolt them down to 25 foot-pounds, and then the hub attaches to that. And then once the hub is onto this, we go ahead and put the rest of the bearings into the hub. Got both rotors set up here just to help clear off a little space, even though this one right here is going to be the driver's side one that we're putting on. So the next step is to go ahead and take the hub and bolt it into its respective holes. So that gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. Alright guys, got the hub on the rotor. Here it is in all its glory. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pack this bearing with the grease that I showed you earlier, put it in the hub, and then we're going to go ahead and put the hub onto the spindle. I forgot to do is take off the string linkage off the old spindle, so I went ahead and did that and cleaned it up a little bit, got it sanded down. But I gotta run back to another parts store, probably gonna just go to AutoZone, grab some Duplicolor black that's gonna be similar to what the control arms are now, and then we'll paint these up and then we'll get the hub on. Also, I gotta grab some cotter pins because I forgot those. Alright, I just got back from AutoZone, grabbed some Rust-Oleum acrylic enamel. This is paint and primer. and then also the cotter pins that I'm going to need for the rest of the suspension parts. So let's go ahead and get this part painted, and then we'll go ahead and move on. Okay, so I got the first coat onto the part. Wait about 20 to 30 minutes before I put on the second coat. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get on the hub. Okay, the hub and the rotors are now mounted. I got the bolt torqued down to 33 foot-pounds and then backed it off as it says in the manual to do. And they spin nice and freely. Got the spindle all greased up before I put on there. And of course I got to clean the rotors off before I seat these brakes and everything. But man, that looks really good. A lot better than the old disc brakes that used to be on here. So, and my wheels should be showing up today. So hopefully I should be able to slap at least the wheel on without the tire to check out how it is. Also, I need to put on that steering bracket that we just painted back on just to check the actual turning radius, because this is a little exaggerated, but pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on that second coat of paint and let it dry, and then we'll attach that on. Now that the hub, rotor, also the caliper bracket is now mounted, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the caliper itself. Gotta do some shimming to make sure it all fits and is centered with it, and then we can finally have a good idea what everything's gonna look like. Got the caliper mocked up onto the rotor. Now this line here in the middle of the caliper doesn't need to be in the middle of the rotor. It is this way a little bit, so I'm going to add a couple of shims here. Ended up having to use 3 shims to get this all centered up as I mentioned. So now it's time to back all these bolts back out, put some red Loctite and torque them down. Caliper is all mounted now. I did notice one thing that I am gonna have to flip around, i.e. the whole thing. So if you look in here, the caliper's on this side, but the factory brake line is actually on the other side, so towards the back of the car. I'd actually like to keep that pretty stock, so I don't really want to run my brake line through anything. So I'm gonna end up just switching this to the other side, that way the brake line can just run right into it. So I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, got it all remounted here. Had to change out the bracket, but spins good. Had to remove 1 shim, so now it's only 2. It all looks good, and now that factory brake line that runs there, I'll be able to use that same mount into the Wilwood brake. Also for the Wilwood calipers, I do need to install this kit for the steel line to go into the brake calipers. Amazon just delivered the bolts that I wanted to use to replace the stock ones for that lower control arm, because the stock ones were too short for the thicker control arms. So these are just a 7/16 20 by 2 inches. That should make it work. Nice grade 8 shoulder bolt. That's pretty much gonna do it for today. As you saw, the whole front disc brake is on and ready for a wheel. I still have to wait for that steering liquid to dry so I can put it on. The new wheels are supposed to show up tonight, so hopefully in the next video I'll be able to just slap the wheels on and see how they look, as well as put some tires on and make sure it's all gonna fit. So thanks for tuning in, for putting on the front brake kit. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. See you guys next time.